Hey gang, I wanted to share the development of my Vehicle Go bag. This is the emergency bag I leave in my car that will help me either shelter in place at the car or I'll take with me to seek help. Now this is my version 1.0 and I'm looking to all of you for feedback. What have I missed? What should I dump? So please leave your comments below and let's jump right into it. Before I built the bag, I wanted to make sure I defined my philosophy behind the need for such a bag and how and why I would use it. But I didn't just stop at the bag philosophy. I also wanted to make sure I was familiar with everything inside it and how to use all of those items. So I set out to define those as well. Basically, I wanted a solid approach to using the bag, and this essentially outlines all my thinking. Obviously, I have the bag because I feel there are threats I may encounter while on the road or stranded. Now, in most scenarios, I'm going to stay with the car. That's the smart move in a typical survival situation. That's what you should do. But I also wanted to define in advance the likely threats that might cause me to leave the car, in which case I would then need to use this bag and rely on it to get me to a safe place. This is essentially that list. So here she is, the REI Pinnacle 35. Now I leave this bag inside the emergency bin in my SUV. I picked it up on sale at REI for about $80, but I think it normally retails for around $140. It's great for my needs. It's a light mountaineering alpine bag, perfect for trailblazing in the winter wet conditions. So essentially, that's great for me since I live in the Northwest. It features rugged construction, loads of straps and gear hangs, some good compression options, and even waterproof zippers. Also, it has top and front pouches with top and side access openings. Now, in this picture you can see I've attached a compass with a grim lock to the shoulder strap, and I have a poly bottle and steel cup on the side pouch. Why don't we dive into the contents of the bag itself, though? In terms of drinking, I have a filled 32-ounce poly bottle with a steel cup within reach on the outside of my pack at all times. And that's really my primary drinking source. I also have a vitamin water in a Ziploc bag in the front pouch, so I can get to that pretty quick. Now my plan would be to secure water along any hike. So if I felt though that there was water was scarce in a particular area, then I could supplement this bag and these options with additional bottles of water, which I already have in my emergency kit in the car. I place a few key items in the top pouch for easy access. It's a quick zip and I can have my hands on any of these items. And these are typically the things I want to get immediately or I'll use frequently. As far as the knife goes, I realize it's a folder right now, not ideal. I plan to swap it out soon with a better full tang knife. And I'm actually considering the BK2, but I'm open to other ideas, so post them in the comments below. As for the front zipper pouch, again, these are the items that I want to access quickly. Obviously, you know, things like a poncho or a map. These are things I'm going to use over and over, and I don't want to go digging into my pack. So I place those items in the front pouch. Where possible, I've organized my gear into individual pouches, labeled with plastic tags for easy finding in the pack. Clearly this makes getting gear in and out a snap, and if somebody else needed to use the pack, they could find things more easily as well. Huge shout out to Urban Prepper for this tip. I'm not sure if he came up with it, but he uses it quite well in his bags, and so I'm stealing that from him. Here's my fire pouch. Obviously fire is super important in a survival situation, so I've built in multiple redundancies here. As you can see, I've got both combustibles and ignition sources here. So if I can't light a fire with this pouch, then I guess I deserve to freeze. There's an interior pouch within the bag itself, and that's for a hydration bladder compartment. But I don't use the hydration bladder, so I use it to hold my primary shelter option, in this case a plastic 8x10 tarp. Super inexpensive, but you know what? It gets the job done. As far as additional shelter items go, I have a dedicated shelter pouch, and in here I have probably the items that I feel would provide several options and approaches to ensuring I stay dry and warm. And I think I've covered all the bases. Everything from a reflective blanket to a bivvy to tent stakes and cordage. I have 3 Ziploc bags full of clothing articles. Now, since it's winter in the Pacific Northwest right now, these are more fleece-based options. So I'll probably swap these items out with lighter clothes in the spring-summer months. And I'm well aware of the issues with cotton, so you don't need to post anything about that. These are more for comfort items than anything else. Though I think over time I'll probably switch out those articles with better, tech-oriented clothing that I don't have to even worry about the cotton aspect. For my comms pouch, I've included items for both signaling and communications. I also have an external battery in here that I can use to charge my phone. I typically recharge that battery every 3 months to ensure the charge stays current. I also plan to add in a set of small walkie-talkies that could be used for scouting away from the vehicle with another person. Again, I'm open to recommendations of other ones that you might have used, so just post them in the comments below. I'm also thinking of, once I get my ham license, I plan to add in a portable ham radio. Looking at options there, so again, any recommendations would be great. This is the small cooking pouch that includes both water purification and cooking tools. Now, I included the straws in here because those might be necessary when drinking water from my poly bottle. Again, even though I can purify the water inside it using tablets and the like, the threading on the bottle where you drink from can still contain organisms, so I wanted to be safe and include straws. Don't take up any space. As far as boiling water, I can use my steel cup that's nestled with my poly bottle. And while I have the Esbit stove in here to do that, I could easily just create a fire and use that as the method for boiling water. In terms of food rations, I've placed these items in a scent-proof dry bag. Now, what you see here, I've included really 2 options. I have quick-eat, grab-and-go foods that don't require any prep or cooking, and then I have a few staples like soup and oatmeal and freeze-dried items that simply require hot water. For my first aid pouch, I went with a simple Lifeline pre-made kit, and then I added some more items like gauze, meds, and sunscreen. But basically, this is really just a boo-boo kit, though. I have both a comprehensive first aid kit and then a dedicated trauma first responder kit in my vehicle that I can supplement here. So if I decided to leave the car, I'd likely take that trauma kit, which is a Black Hawk emergency medical supply roll, and I can attach that to my pack using Molly and Grimlocks. And that trauma kit is going to really cover all the bases for any emergency medical needs I might have. I've included a small fishing kit in the bag as a means to secure additional food if necessary. Now, it doesn't take up much space or weight, so it's a nice-to-have item. I figured I'd throw it in there. I placed all the small items inside a plastic waterproof go tube and wrapped about 50 feet of fishing line around the outside. There's a host of good videos out there on how to make these types of kits. A lot of people seem to be using PVC pipes, and some of them are really like rock solid fishing systems, so I would encourage you guys to check those out. This tool pouch contains the basics, I believe, for light pack and gear repair or campsite needs. Things like a multi-tool and an extra flashlight and batteries. But I also have a toolkit in my vehicle that I could supplement this gear with, so I could bring more substantial items if I felt the need, like a wrench or a hammer or a pry bar. This is my personal /hygiene pouch. Now, it's certainly overkill for a survival situation, I recognize that. But I am considering that staying clean and fresh can easily help with morale, so that's important. And it's also nice to know that I've got some backup deodorant in the car in case I'm getting funky at work. As for the tampons, I may be traveling with my wife, or I could use those as fire starters in a pinch. So that's it, gang. My vehicle go bag version 1.0. Again, thanks for watching. I'd love to hear any comments or suggestions you have on how to improve the bag. Everything from what's in your bag to what did I miss. Again, stay safe everyone, and remember, be prepared.